Hey everyone. Alrighty, so on Facebook I had a few requests to do a tutorial on how to make this duct tape traveler's notebook. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. But before I get started, I apologize for that noise in the background. That is my laundry going. But anyway, so yeah, here's one of the duct tape fauxdoris, I guess is what they call them, that I made. And this holds half-size sheets of paper. So essentially when you open it up, it holds just a regular 8.5 by 11 size sheet folded in half. So there you go. This is just a couple of sheets that I was messing around with, printing out and stuff like that to see how well it worked. And yeah, it works pretty well. So, and then this only has, well, I guess it could work out as two, but there's one band in this one. But if you look on other videos on YouTube, there's a lot of videos that'll show you how to add multiple books with one elastic. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. This is, like I said, just duct tape. You can see how I lined everything up. What I'm going to go ahead and do is use this as a guide for the book that I'm about to make. So I've got my scissors, I've got some duct tape here, could be whatever design duct tape you like. I've got a hole punch, of course a marker, and I've got some different color elastics. You can get plain elastic. They have it at Joann's, Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, different places like that. And you just want to make sure it's the right thickness. This one is 1.2 millimeters thick. So, okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and take... Oh, I just wanted to show you real quick, too. These sheets in this book are not stapled together or anything. They're actually just loosely... They just fold it in half. And... Whoops. I've got two of them in there. I didn't realize that. I am using the elastic. See, there's no stapling or anything, so if you don't have a stapler that'll reach that far, there's really no need for it because it'll hold it anyway. So I was using both elastics because when you thread through it, it ends up, some people consider this a single elastic, but I consider it two. So there you go. I'll put that, actually I'm going to use this. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I've got a big piece of paper. This really, the cool thing about making your own is you could really do whatever size you want. So if you want it to fit, say, around a composition notebook, you can trace around the notebook and then give yourself like maybe 1/4 of an inch border around it to give you some leeway with thickness and whatnot. So I'm just going to use this. I'm going to actually grab a pencil real quick. I'm going to line it up with the edges. Apologize for my nails, by the way. I'm a hairdresser, so my nails get wet a lot and they start to chip. So I haven't had a chance to redo them as of yet. So anyways, back to this. Let me see. It's been folded for a while, so I gotta try to hold it down while I trace it. Okay, so not extremely pretty, but it works. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do, I have a paper slicer thingy, but I'm not going to use it. I didn't bring it to the table, and I know a lot of you out there don't have it, so I'm just going to use my scissors to cut it. If you have a paper cutter, it would probably come out a lot cleaner when you cut it with that. You get a nice straight line, but really, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. And don't worry about leaving the pencil marks behind, because we're going to be taping over this entire thing. So, okay, and don't waste paper. If you've got a big piece of paper like this, there's always something else you can do with it. So keep that aside. You can make like cute little cards out of it that you can use in your notebook. There's a whole slew of things that you could do with that. So I'm going to put that aside. Alright, so I've got my piece of paper down in the size that I want. Now all I'm going to do is I am going to just start duct taping this side. If I can find the edge to my duct tape, that would be fantabulous. Oh, forgive my cutting board too, by the way. It's a very loved cutting board, and yeah, I use it a lot, so it's kind of beat up. So, I'm going to go ahead and just start duct taping. I mean, if you have a piece of duct tape that has like a certain pattern on it that you want to pay closer attention to, lining up the pictures and stuff like that, you might want to take a little bit more time with that, but this I'm not too awfully worried about. You just want to make sure that it's as flat as you can get it, and not what I did right there. See if I can get that. Oh well. See, if you get little things like this, just mush them down. And then we'll probably just use this for the inside. Okay. I'm going to try to do this without speeding the video up. Whoops. So you can see the real time it takes to get this done. This really doesn't take long at all to do. I'm doing a video. You're gonna have to wait a minute. I'll be done in a few minutes. I'm almost done. You're interrupting my video. Sorry, that's my husband in the background.
Where's the camera? I don't understand.
Alright, so just about done. Quit stalking me. Right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
get.
I'm being filmed.
No, you're not being filmed. Sorry, my husband's being obnoxious. Okay, so we've got this entire thing taped down. So, I'm just gonna, sorry if this is a little off center there. A little down, a little more. There we go. Make sure you guys can see that a little bit better. I'm sorry if it was a little out of camera. Okay, now what we're gonna do? All right, flip it over. You see all this stuff around the edges. So what we're gonna do is on the corners. See, like right here, I'm going to try to show you as best I can. On the corners here, we're going to do this. We're going to clip like this and like this. We're going to clip that little corner off. We're going to do that to all 4 sides, and I'll show you why we're doing that here in a minute. And it's sticking to me, it's sticking to my scissors. And these scissors that I have are supposed to be non-stick, but they're old, so they still stick. Okay, so here's the reason why we clip these edges. We're going to fold these over, and if you didn't clip those edges, then you'd have this weird bulk right here, and then when you fold it back over, that one piece doesn't stick, and then it would just be awkward. So just fold this. Ooh, gosh, this is really not going to be as pretty of a planner as I thought it was going to be, but that's all right. I like to do the messy ends first. It's just sticking to me like crazy. Doesn't have to be too awfully pretty because we're going to tape this side as well. But normally we would try not to get so many bubbles. Now I'm going to do the pretty side. Flip it about. Alright, so we've got those down. Now all we're going to do, we're trying not to leave so much overhang this time. Just going to tape over this just like we did on the other side. Smooth it out as you go along to prevent bubbles. By the way, this is duct tape I got at the dollar store. It is with their Halloween stuff. I really apologize, guys, if that is the most annoying sound in the world in the background right now. But this is the only chance I have today to do this, so. Hopefully it's not as loud as I think it is. Have to put music over this entire video. Okay. Alrighty, voila. So we've got both sides covered in duct tape. By the way, the type of paper that I use is a heavier weight paper, so it gives it a little bit more stability, but the duct tape really does give it a nice, decent amount of stability and durability. Okay, so there we go. Now what we're going to do is we are going to find the middle of our thingamabobber, and this ended up being about 12 inches long. Maybe an eighth of an inch down or so. I'm going to mark there. to do it the same way on the bottom. Kind of eyeball it. Now you also want to kind of think about where you want your elastic band that holds it closed, which is this thing. I have it in the back here. You can put it in the center if you want to. So I think I'll put it in the center this time just for the heck of it. So we're going to go kind of in between here and find where the midpoint is there. It doesn't have to be exactly midway. I'm going to kind of just eyeball it to say it's right there. I'm just going to put it there. Alright. Now, next part we're going to do is we're going to take our hole punch and we're going to punch those little holes out. Now this is just a standard hole punch. You can get a smaller hole punch, I'm sure, at like Joann's. You just want to center it as best you can. It's not going to be perfect. Keep in mind that it can be a little bit difficult to punch through. And you might get it a little bit off, but hey, that's not a big deal. It's all in fun. Yeah, see, I got it a little bit crooked, but that's okay. That's going to be alright. It's not a big thing. It's just, it's hard to see what exactly I'm punching. And this is a pretty big hole punch for this, so there, see, it's a little bit better that time. And then you gotta figure out how the heck you're gonna punch all the way down. If you do a smaller notebook, that would be easy. Since I didn't, you want to grab something pokey. Like, I have this little awl that I use to put snaps and things. And I'm going to go to the center of that thingamabobber and push through. It's going to be a little sticky. Just be careful not to poke yourself. And you want to do it again if you can, to make the hole a little bigger. So, I don't know if you can see, it's right there. Alrighty, now, we want to take some elastic. What color do I want to use? Maybe try to find like the beginning of this elastic. Where the heck is it? Is it down here? Guess I should have thought of that before I started this whole thing. Aha, I found it. Okay. So basically, you can choose to cut it or not cut it first. I choose not to cut it because I want to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of elastic. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the bottom holes. You're coming in from the back. Oh, wait a second. First off, let's get it the right way around. This is going to be my inside. So you want to come from the outside into the bottom hole on the top. Then you're going to go from the inside out down here. You're going to pull that, and you want to make sure that you're going to have enough to get across. Well, we don't have to get all the way across because we're going to tie it in the middle. So maybe halfway across. Okay, now my husband's going to make some annoying noise. Trying to dig chairs out and trying to do a video. Anyway, so you want a little bit of room to tie a knot. It's about right there. Okay, now we're going to go through the top hole here and pull that through. Now we're going to go ahead and cut, let's see, measure way down. I'm going to cut this. Up, and we don't want to forget the top part here. We want to bring that top one through that top hole there. Okay, now we want to tie this in the middle. Now, a little thing about traveler's notebooks, like you're going to notice it's going to start to bow a little bit. You actually want it to bow a little bit. Otherwise, when you lay it down, the elastic's not going to be tight enough. So, I'm going to let it bow just a smidge. It's not going to be bowed. Once you get the notebooks in there, it won't bow anymore. So I'm going to try to hold this down while I tie this. So when you lay it flat, you want it to have a nice snap to it. I think it's got, oh my goodness. I will definitely have to redo this video at one point to where it's not as annoying with the noise in the background. Okay. I'm going to stop picking at this. This is good enough. If you're unsure, don't cut this off yet, okay? So I'm going to leave this for now because I might adjust it in a little bit. So, now we're going to work on this hole here. And where did I put my doohickey? Well, all went somewhere. But since I can't find it, oh, it rolled under my machine over here. Okay. So, we want to make sure this hole is nice and open. If you need to kind of twirl it around a little bit, because we need to stick to things of elastic in there. Sorry, I'm just looking closer up so I can see it. Okay. Alright, now, you can also get like a wider needle if you need to, but I'm just going to go from the outside in, if I can get this to see if it'll let me get it in there. Get in there! Come on, come on, come on! Alright, there we go. So we got this part through. So this is about a decent amount to leave to be able to tie it on the inside. Now, what you want to do to measure how much you should leave out, we're going to go ahead and fold this in half. And you can go ahead and give it a good crease. And you want to basically measure how far across your notebook is. Maybe a little bit less if you want to make sure that it's tight enough. So maybe about right there. So you're going to hold right there, you're going to double it up. And then we're going to allow a little bit of room because we're going to thread that back through. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. I keep wanting to grab my hole punch to cut the elastic. Okay. Get that out of the way. Okay. Now, we're going to attempt to, again, I'm going to make sure my hole is wide enough to accommodate another piece of elastic here. We're going to go ahead and poke from the outside. I have to pull this to one side. This part is probably the most difficult part of making the journal. If you can always try to help it through with poking it through, very carefully, of course. Or, of course, like I said, if you have a needle, you can use that too. But see, that helped actually right there. Alright, so we got that through. Okay, so this is through. And before you tie the knot, you again want to make sure that that's going to be enough elastic to get around, which that'll be plenty. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and tie our knot. Make sure you don't accidentally tie it into the other center elastic there. Yeah. And you can go ahead and do one more knot just to be safe. And you can be decorative with this. I mean, before you put this in, you could have added maybe like a charm or something, which would be really cool. So now for this, you can clip off the excess. Like I said, I'm not clipping this excess off yet, just because I might want to adjust it. And there you have it. That is your duct tape traveler's notebook. You just put the elastic over, and voila, you are all set. Now if you want to, the cool thing is if you wanted to, you could add pockets on the inside. There's a lot of stuff that you can do with it, and it's really inexpensive to make. And if you noticed, like I said, the holes weren't that straight. And the top here, it didn't make any difference. It works completely fine.